We just
Yeah.
have to jump into this. There's so much going on. Carly, I pulled a U where the more research I did, the more questions I had, and I don't know. I don't even know where we start.
Okay, start with questions because honestly, there's not a lot going on with actual we usually start with college football, and there's
Yeah.
honestly not a lot going on this weekend, which is, as you'll see, we have a shared notes tab, you guys, and I have a lot of, like, questions, comments, just things for us to talk about. But start with your question.
Okay. Well, also, first have to address my sweater. I got this sweater set that's like boucle. I FaceTime my mom, and my mom was like, "What is that ratty old sweater?"
Oh my gosh, no, I
Because
think
she
it's
thought
so cute.
it's
Stop.
all pilled.
You're
It
like, "You
never
mean
even
this
been washed
luxury?"
before.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
So now I'm really in my head about it.
No, that's honestly one of the first things I thought of when I jumped on, was like, "Oh my gosh, it's a cute sweater."
It's boucle, right? Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't look
That's such a
pilled.
mom thing to
I
do.
know,
No.
I know. Okay, so now that we
Oh
have
my
that
gosh.
out of the way, it is a really comfy, cozy set. It's from Nude, N-O-O-D, I think?
Oh, I don't know them. Link it.
It was an influencer started it. What's her name? Starts with a D. She moved from California to Dallas.
Daryl Ann Dinner.
Yes.
Okay, I know that one. My friend actually works for her, so that's so fun.
Yeah, so that's what this is. Okay. This rabbit hole started because of the Notre Dame drama
Okay.
and how they feel they got snubbed because they're not making it into the playoffs, even though they're good enough to be in the playoffs, right? So
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, let's dive into this more of why they're so upset because apparently they turned down the bowl game offer that they got against BYU because they're from what I understand, they're mad. So that's one thing. And then to complicate things further, even though they're a good team and did well, they didn't have the support of a conference because for every other sport they're part of the ACC, but with football they're independent. But now they're big mad that they didn't get the support from the ACC, and so I have thoughts there. Because if you don't wanna be part of the ACC, don't expect them to, like, vouch for you, right? I don't know.
Right.
There's just so many things that happened just with Notre Dame alone in the last 24 hours. Oh, and they're meeting with they just met with the SEC.
Well, that was the thing whenever they commented or declared or whatever that they weren't gonna play in the bowl games because they were big mad that they didn't get into the playoffs. Every response I saw, well, not every. I'd say like 98% of the responses I saw were all just join a conference.
Right.
Join a conference. If you are mad, you need to be in a conference. And we have been telling you this for the entire time. Like, just join a conference. I don't understand their mindset behind being mad, but not joining a conference, but staying that way. Like, you can't have your cake and eat it too.
No, nothing in life works like that, literally. And so then the arguments were like, "Well, we have a really good contract with NBC, so we don't need a conference for TV time." And I'm like, I get that TV time is, like, the moneymaker and the most important thing, but, like, if you're gonna have a temper tantrum, then maybe it's more than just TV time. And then I also
Right.
saw that Notre Dame donors say that they would pull out their money if Notre Dame ever joined a conference. And I'm just like,
This is so crazy to me because I also went to a school where we had people, same thing, donors that said they would stop donating or giving or whatever, sponsoring if we got a football team. So I have lived that. I have experienced that. And the thought process behind it is so odd to me because you're just like blanketing every college football program everywhere. And it's like, we know if we had a college football team, like this university would tank, like the culture would tank. and all of that stuff, which I think is such a wrong mindset to have. I also didn't even know this until I started going to the school. So that was also just bizarre. But same thing for Notre Dame. It's like you don't even know what you're missing out on. And if it is all about like money and ads and getting TV time, I think if you join a conference, you would be more likely to get TV time because, hey, newsflash, you might have made it into the playoffs and gotten even more TV time.
Exactly, exactly, and so they're acting like Miami took their spot only because Miami's fully in the conference, and maybe that is the case, and if it is, I'm kinda like, well, also, that's just
Well,
part of being a part of a grouping of things, right?
right.
But I then the turning down the bowl game bothered me too, because, first of all, if you're a player, don't you still at least wanna, like, have one more game? Or do you wanna make a statement like that? I don't know.
Well, it just gave like major loser energy.
It did.
Like
It's so
major
pouty.
loser energy. Yes, it is literally like the kid you're playing with on the playground and they lose and they're like, "Well, I wasn't playing anyway." And you're like, "Well, you were playing and you're mad you lost. You're
Yeah,
mad it didn't go your way." And so now you're like, "Well, I'm not playing anyway. Like, I'm too good for this." Well, if you're too good for a bowl game, if you're too good for a conference, you're not too good to make the playoffs because that didn't happen for you.
right. And now they don't have to risk losing against BYU, which I think would have been a interesting game. The Pop-Tart Bowl.
Which I love. This was on one of my things to talk about today, actually, because I wanted us to go through like all of
Oh
some
my
of the
gosh, yeah.
popular bowl games and like rank them based off of anything besides football,
Oh my
like
god, I'm
besides the teams
so
playing.
obsessed with this. Yes.
And so the Pop Tart Bowl is one of them. Not to spoil anything, but the Pop Tart Bowl is my favorite
I thought
strictly
it'd be
because of the Pop Tarts.
the second I saw that they turned down the Pop-Tart Bowl, I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's Carly's bowl."
That's literally my favorite bowl. Like, you're so stupid. It's so much fun. And speaking of TV time, everyone watches this bowl game.
Yes.
Everyone. It's so much fun.
From a leadership perspective, it's like, what are you teaching your team too? I don't know. This whole thing is so bizarre.
I honestly was really shocked that because I really like Marcus Freeman and he's done a great job with Notre Dame and he played at Ohio State and so he like understands like conference culture and stuff like that. And I know it's not just his decision, but he is like the leader of the team. Like you are the
Yeah.
head coach. And I was honestly really disappointed and shocked by this. Again, I know it wasn't just his decision, but he is the representative of the team. And I was really surprised by it because everything I've seen about Marcus Freeman thus far, I've really liked. I think he's a really good guy with, appears to lead the team well. And so this one was just like really bizarre to me. And I was really thrown off and really disappointed by it.
Was this the coach's decision or the athletic director's decision, or how does
I
that work?
honestly don't know. That's where I'm like, I don't know if he protested it and was like, I don't want to do this, but like the AD was like, well, this is what we're doing. Like, and but the other thing too is if it was the AD, then he also oversees the teams that are in the
Yeah, that's
conference.
true. That's true. CC for real, or they're just having the conversations to spark drama. Like,
I
are
don't
they
think they
being the
would.
girl who's, like, trying to be messy and, like, talk
I
to
think they're being I think they're being the girl that's trying to be messy because of all the teams, I don't think it would be or all the conferences, I don't think it would be the SEC
it'd be
either.
Big 10, right? That would
Right.
make the most
Which makes
sense.
the most sense.
Well, I guess
Yeah.
we're the ACC where all the other all their other
That's so true. Like, but like if you had to, make a fuss about it, I feel like the Big Ten would be the one that they'd want to choose.
Yeah,
I don't know why they're not. The whole thing is just weird. Like, just join the ACC.
yeah. All your other teams are in it. That's so bizarre.
Yeah. So
Okay,
bizarre.
we have to do your bowl game rankings. I'm so pumped for this.
Okay, there's a ton, and so I just picked out, like, the few that either I had heard of or I'd, like well, yeah, that I had heard of because there's so many, and there's some fun ones, but again, not having anything to do with football, like, there's the Las Vegas Bowl that's really fun, there's, like, the Fiesta Bowl, but those are just, like I don't know, they're like, "Okay, this is like, they go to the Fiesta Bowl and these 2 teams play," but I have the Rose Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, which obviously I thought would be fun because our Texas roots,
Yes.
the Peach Bowl, Pop-Tart Bowl, Idaho Potato Bowl, the Egg Bowl, the Music City Bowl, the Hawaii Bowl, and the Duke's Mayo Bowl.
Incredible. Okay. So, first of all, I would imagine players would be so jazzed to go to the Hawaii Bowl, right?
Okay,
Because
that's what
it's the
I was
end of the
thinking too.
semester, right out like, you basically could stay there and make it feel like a vacation, versus if you went to go play in Hawaii in the middle of the school semester, and you don't actually get to feel like you're in Hawaii, right?
Right. Now
But our
nobody's gonna
fans tra
watch
but
because
our
it's
fans
Hawaii.
tra Yeah, that and our fans like, how many fans realistically are gonna go travel? Who is in the Hawaii Bowl?
Let's see who's playing in it this year. See, I didn't even look.
I
University of California
Oh, okay,
and the
so
Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. Oh,
okay, so
okay.
they will
So they'll
have
probably both
a
get
turnout.
yeah,
Okay, that would be fun. That'd be fun because then now you have an excuse with all of your friends to go to Hawaii.
right, right. And from California, it's really not that long
No,
of a flight.
no, it'd probably
I
take
love that one.
less time to go to Hawaii than to the East Coast. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
true.
Well, okay, I think that is true because my sister lives in San Francisco and she was like, people go to Hawaii all the time, but like the real luxury vacations are when people go to Florida.
But that's funny because
Yeah. So
yeah,
like if
okay,
you go to like Destin or Seaside or
yeah,
whatever and you're like you live in San Francisco, it's like, oh man, like that is luxury because Hawaii is such an easy flight for them.
okay. That is That's wild. So yeah, okay. So Hawaii is up there at top. Obviously, we know where you live with the Pop-Tart Bowl. Okay, the
I
Rose
also
Bowl has
love
the parade. Do any of the
the
other
Rose Bowl
bowl
has the parade.
Does anyone else have a parade?
Think so.
Okay. Well, because
And the Rose Bowl is like it's such a, like, big deal because it was, like, the first one, it's the oldest one, like, that one just feels like a classic, like, anyone loves the Rose Bowl no matter who's playing in it.
and it's like a New Year's tradition too, right? It's always New Year's
Mhm.
Eve,
I think so.
New Year's Day. I just associate the parade being like also a New Year's
Yeah,
celebration.
yeah. The Music City Bowl, I thought that one was fun because it's, like, in Nashville. I feel like that's totally not Nashville culture to, like, have a big old bowl game, but I'm like, "That's so fun." Like, you can go city vibes, like, Western.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Let's see who's playing in it this year.
That would be fun, and that would be a fun one to travel to.
The Tennessee Volunteers, so that makes
Wait,
sense.
so do they choose these bowl games based off of where the team what it's like what came first, the chicken or the egg? The Because, like, Hawaii Bowl and the California team, Tennessee going to the Music City,
Let's see.
and I know
There's
TC is going to the Alamo Bowl, and TCU goes to the Alamo Bowl all the time. Are
it
they
may
doing
depend on the bowl games
Okay.
because, like, the Peach Bowl is in Georgia, but Texas and Arizona are playing in that one.
Okay, so then the logic does not apply then. Huh. Maybe it's just
But
coinc
it could be, like, kind of the random bowl games. It's just like, we're gonna throw all these teams a bone just because it's fun and we have sponsors
True.
for it.
Wasn't Tennessee good at the beginning of the season? Am I
I
making that
thought
up?
so. Well, Tennessee is usually pretty good, but
Huh.
their team kinda took a turn, which is so unfortunate.
Okay, so they're playing against who in the mus
In that one, they're playing against Illinois.
Okay, interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
we gotta talk about the Idaho Potato Bowl. I love this.
Oh my gosh. Okay, the funny thing about this one is that I just think the actual, like, stadium is hilarious because it's, like, this giant blue stadium, and it's the most bizarre thing. Like, you
Everyone
have to look it up.
collectively opening up their phones right now. Idaho.
Yeah. The winner always gets like, the coach always gets just, like, a giant like, instead of Gatorade, it's just a giant thing of french fries
What?
that gets thrown on him. Yeah. There's a giant, like, potato, like,
That's so
just whole
funny.
potato that runs around. I think it's
That's
hilarious.
so funny. I love that. Oh my gosh, I see
And, like,
picture now. Incredible.
why is their field blue also?
But it's not just blue, it's like blue, blue.
Yeah. It's like a
Vibrant.
bold royal blue.
That's crazy. Okay, so who's playing in that? Do we know?
This one
By
is
my
the
logic, it would be an Idaho.
this one is actually Utah, so it's
Well,
Utah
I was gonna
State.
say Idaho or Utah. I kind of lumped them into the same.
Yeah. So it's Idaho or Utah State and then Washington State.
Okay, that makes sense, and geographically it makes sense as well for fans to travel.
Yeah,
I'm so concerned
exactly.
about travel.
Like, well, you have to think about that, like, who is
Yeah.
going to Hawaii, you know?
Right, and you need people to fill
Only
these stadiums.
California.
Yep,
Yeah,
exactly. Okay, Egg
yeah.
Bowl.
Oh my gosh. Okay, the Egg Bowl already happened this year. It's
Oh, that's right,
always
that's right.
so, again, the interesting thing about bowl games, I don't understand it. The more I learn, the more I'm confused. But the Egg Bowl already happened this year. I just have to say I love this one. I have such fond memories of this one because a couple of years ago when my in-laws, my husband's brother and his wife, we were all sitting around. It was Thanksgiving. It was the evening. They were playing. So they used to play the Egg Bowl on Thanksgiving. That was like always their thing. They now moved it to the day after. But that is quite literally how they told us that they were having a baby. We were all standing in the kitchen watching the Egg Bowl, and they were like, "Well, speaking of the Egg Bowl, we're gonna have our own little Egg Bowl."
That's so
And we were all just kind of
sweet.
like,
What are you talking
"Are
about? But
you
that's
guys
so
having a baby?" We were like, "Is this your pregnancy announcement?" And it was the best thing ever because it was like the epitome of my husband's family. Like, of course, they would announce their egg during the Egg Bowl. Like, it was amazing. So I have just such fond memories of the Egg Bowl now, and I always think about like their little egg during the Egg Bowl.
so cute. Oh my gosh. Also, I
Yeah,
just
but
looked
this
at the
one,
trophy, and the trophy is literally a golden egg.
like, it's hilarious. This one's always Ole Miss and Mississippi State.
Got it.
And so this one is like another classic, but couldn't care less who plays in it, whether it's Ole Miss and Mississippi State for the rest of time. I just love it. I love the golden egg. Like
Yeah.
all of these you'll see kind of had a food theme, like the Peach Bowl was sponsored by Chick-fil-A. And I'm like, well, of course,
Yeah.
obviously. Like that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yep. Okay, and then Duke's Mayo Bowl.
Okay,
I'm
this
not
one is just
familiar
so
with this
funny.
one.
I just think it's
Obviously, I'm familiar with
hilarious
Duke's Mayo,
because
but
right, like how
not
do
in
they
the
find
bowl
these
context.
spots? Right. And this one, they're playing, it's in North Carolina, and Mississippi State and Wake Forest are playing in this one. So, again,
Interesting.
makes sense. But I just think it is so funny because a giant jar of Duke's Mayo just runs around the whole game. And like you'll see people just like sitting in the stands with jars of mayo. The coach gets mayo thrown on him instead of Gatorade or,
No.
French fries. It's disgusting, but it's hilarious.
Oh my gosh, how many showers after to, like because there's the shower where you get the mayo off, right? So great. But then you have to shower again because you still will feel like you have mayo
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah, for sure. And let me
in
tell
your
you
hair.
something.
I guess it's
This
good
is
for your hair.
well, I was gonna say probably TMI, but I had lice as a kid, and so I had to put mayo in my hair all the
Yes,
time. And so I'm
yes,
like, it'll come out. Don't worry. You'll feel so hydrated after your mayo bath.
hydrated. Best into oh my gosh, in the summer, that would be so bad.
I'm like, I don't think I could ever eat mayo again if it
No.
got dumped all over me, but hilarious.
Oh my gosh. Okay. What are we missing? Oh, the Cotton Bowl. The Cotton Bowl is such a classic, not to be
Classic.
confused with Texas OU weekend, which is played in the Cotton Bowl. There is an actual Cotton Bowl, right?
I think that is the Cotton Bowl.
There's not a Cotton Bowl now coming up,
Well, Texas OU is played in the Cotton Bowl.
but that's
See, this
Red
is a confusing
River
thing.
rivalry.
Right, but then they also have, like, the Cotton Bowl game, which is now played at
What,
AT&T
Cowboys?
Stadium,
Yep, I forgot they moved it to Cowboys.
which I think is so silly, like, just have the Cotton
When
Bowl
it's
at the
now
Cotton Bowl.
called the Goodyear Cotton Bowl.
Okay,
I don't like
lame.
that.
We
Boring.
didn't need another sponsor, like, please.
Yeah, okay. And that will be the playoff quarterfinal.
Mhm.
Oh, it's the 90th Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. It's always been the Goodyear Cotton
Like,
for the last
lame,
90 years.
like, we don't need Goodyear.
Now it's the Goodyear one. It has been for the last 90 years. Okay,
Oh my gosh.
good. Okay, so that
That is
is
so funny.
I said quarterfinal?
Mhm.
Okay.
Or no, yeah.
Okay,
All I know
okay,
is
here's
Ohio
the
State
list.
is playing in that one.
TNT Stadium website coming in clutch here. So the quarterfinals will be the Capital One Orange Bowl, the Rose Bowl game, the All-State something, and then the Goodyear Cotton Bowl. Those are all quarterfinal
Okay.
games. But they're so Capital One, All-State, Goodyear.
No, it's, like, so
I
lame.
want Cheez-Its and Pop-Tarts and Tostitos, mayo. But I guess those would be the more expensive ones to sponsor, right?
Yeah. Does Cheez-Its have a bowl?
They have in the past because I remember TCU played against was it Cal? I can't remember, but there is, like, this year, it was in the rain, and it was the Cheez-Its Bowl, and it was the most chaotic bowl game of that year. It was just a hot mess. Like, Twitter like, no one had tuned in to watch the game until all of a sudden it blew up on Twitter how chaotic this game was. And then all of a sudden, everyone started to tune into the game because it was just a mess, a whole mess. But
Well, okay, they still have it. It's the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. So it's like a
interesting.
combo because it's in Orlando, so it's the Citrus Bowl, but I guess Cheez-It is, like, the sponsor.
Okay.
That's hilarious, their little Cheez-It mascot.
Oh, okay, so the one that I couldn't read for Allstate is the Sugar Bowl.
Okay.
So then okay, so that's quarterfinals, and then semifinals. Are those bowl games as well, or is then at that point, bowl game season is over, now we're just in, like, true playoffs?
I think we're just in true playoffs after that, I think, but, like, last year, Ohio State went to the Rose Bowl, which was a playoff game, and then another like, the semifinals, so the quarterfinals was at the Rose Bowl, and then the semifinals was the Cotton Bowl. So, I don't know who like, Monica, this whole bowl situation, I was looking at the word bowl for so long,
It
and I was like,
sounds
"Is this
funny.
even a real word?" Yeah. I was like, "This is literally not a real word."
Oh my gosh, okay. So then there's 2 buckets here. Everyone gets assigned a bowl game, whether you're a top 20 do you have to be a top 25 team to get a bowl game?
Who gets a bowl game? You have to win at least 6 games in the
Got it.
regular
Okay,
season.
so you don't necessarily have to be top 25. So there's the bowl game, everyone gets who's eligible gets assigned a bowl game. Then we have the other pipeline, which is some of those teams get the bowl game, but they also get to be in the playoffs. So the
Mhm.
playoffs teams have been determined. That's why we had the temper tantrum, right? So what ended up happening with Indiana and Ohio State with, like, figuring out who's, like, 1 and 2 and all that?
Well, Indiana, it's so interesting because I myself was like, it's the 1 and 2 teams. Wouldn't that just be, like, the national championship game? But
Right.
since they were already, like, on their schedule to play each other, it didn't really matter what they were ranked, like, they were always gonna play each other. And
Okay.
so after that, they were Ohio State was 1, Indiana was 2, and then they just flipped since Indiana won. So Indiana's 1 and Ohio State's 2, which only really matters because they'll both get a bye week, and now it just is who they play after that bye week.
Which
So,
we
like,
don't know
Indiana
yet.
will get the which we don't know yet. So, Ohio State, like, they're going to the Cotton Bowl, and they will either play, I think it's Miami or Texas A&M, and M. And I'm like, "That seems so unfair." If
Yeah.
they play Texas A&M, like, I mean, it was just like they played Texas last year at the
Yeah.
Cotton Bowl. It's like a sea of burnt orange with, like, 4 little red dots, which was
Exactly.
me and my family.
I was gonna say, are y'all gonna go?
We're gonna try. I don't
Okay.
know. The ticket prices are obviously insane, so
Yeah.
I don't know what that will shake out to, but we really want to. All of my husband's friends were like, "We need as many Rays there as possible." I was like, "Well, fair enough."
Yes. Well, and now you know your way around the stadium.
True. So freaking true. I've been over every inch of that stadium, not by choice.
Okay, so that makes more sense because we had talked about that last week. We didn't know what would happen with the rankings for
Mhm.
those 2 teams.
Yeah,
And
so
then
now, like, the top 4 teams will all get a bye week.
got it. Okay. So all those teams, there's 4 teams right now who they're in the playoffs, but won't know what their first playoff game is going to be yet. So they
Right.
just
They
have
know
to
where it's gonna be, and they know, like, it could be either this team or this team, but they don't know who
okay,
that will be.
but they have enough time to prep as if it's either team.
Yeah,
Okay, got it. I'm like, this is so much to keep track of.
I know, it's insane.
'Cause it would be less to keep track of in the past when it was less team.
Yeah, there were only 4 teams, and so it's kinda like
Yeah.
2 and
You would
2, and
just
then
yeah. And now
they have the
well,
championship game.
yeah, okay. But this in theory is supposed to make it more fun for everyone?
I think
More
so, I think it's
invested in
supposed to
it?
make it yeah, and longer of a season maybe? I don't know. I know they always go through New Year's, but I don't know how that shakes out on the other side of the New Year, because now
Well,
they're
so
dealing with
year
12 instead of
round.
4. Why would we not?
That's your
I
point.
mean, well, I'm like, "Oh, college football season is done," and then, April rolls around and there's football on the TV, and my husband's like, "These are spring games." And I'm like, "Of course, of
Literally
course."
year round. Literally year round.
Yeah, yeah.
Is there anything else for I'm looking at our notes of what else we wanted to talk about. Okay, wait. The playoff system started in 2014?
Okay, we don't have to
That
take a
sounds
deep
like
dive into this, like
that sounds like so long ago. I thought it was, like, in
yeah.
the last 4 or 5 years.
So it started as my husband was telling me all of this because I was like, "I don't understand, like, who started with the bowl games? Like, how did
Yeah.
that start?" And he was like, "Well, how much time do you have?" And I was like, "Oh boy."
Oh,
Like,
no.
it's not what I was hoping for. Yeah. But to make a very long I'll give you guys the cliff notes. So basically, whenever college football started playing, they didn't really have anything to determine who won. They didn't have a national championship game, they didn't have playoff games. It was basically just like you could claim that you were the winner, like based off of your ranking or your record. And then there was like sports journalists and like the Associated Press that would write about these teams, and they would just kind of be like, "Oh yeah, well, we think that Texas is the winner this year." But Ohio State could be like, "I think we're the winner, so we're going to claim the national championship." So strange. Yeah, it's like you could really just be like, I think we won this year." And so like we're gonna claim it. Like you had like top 25 teams, or you didn't even have that. You just like people were just like, "Yeah, that was our season." And then came the rankings, and that kind of really started to shape out more of like, okay, now you can like see who's doing the best or whatever. And that went on until like the 90s, and then is when, like, all of the bowl games started,
Okay. Okay.
which, like, the Rose Bowl started then, that was, I think, like, the first one, and so there was, like, 4 or 5 bowl games that people would play in, and then based off of how those games went, sports journalists would be like, "Okay, yeah, we think so and so is. We think Ohio State is the national champion this year because they had this record and they won their
God.
bowl game or whatever." And then, as you said, in 2014 is when they actually started the playoff system,
Got it.
which
Okay.
feels like a long time, but also not a long time at
Yeah,
all.
that's
When you think
true.
about how long they've been playing college football, I'm
Yeah,
like, you guys just thought of this?
that's true. And really, this is only what, last 10 years, 11 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, how many Super Bowls have we had?
Yeah, yeah. No, that's a good point. That's so interesting. And then now
Yeah.
it's just
Now
like an evolving, and I feel like it's gonna evolve again because it seems like everyone is just, like, up in arms still over the
yeah.
system. And I feel like
Well,
everything I
people
s
are now like yeah, they're like banging their fists. They're like, "We need more teams." And I'm like, "Well, you just gonna let them all in? Like, does everyone get a
well, yeah,
playoff
like,
game?"
it's like they want March Madness.
Right. I'm like, "That's entirely too much."
And I don't know if it's because we're used to March Madness and how it works and, like, the pace of it, but for some reason, it feels like football would be so much harder to have that pace, right? Well,
Yeah.
because basketball, you're always playing multiple games in a row. You're not
Mhm.
taking 6 days off. And I feel like to have a March Madness pace, you would have to play the next day.
Yeah. You'd
And
have
there's
to
no way
play
you could
all week long.
physically do that,
No.
right? But how
I
else
don't
would
think
you fit
so.
any more than 12 teams?
That's the thing is I'm like, "What are we asking for?" Like, let's take a minute to be like, "How much of time are we really gonna commit to this?"
Any more than 12 teams would require this to go through March.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just no way otherwise.
No.
Or they cut the season short.
But at
So,
that
like,
point
it starts in November. I don't know.
which just feels crazy.
It feels insane. It feels insane. And then again, it's like, now that there's the whole NIL thing, it doesn't matter that these are, like, school sports. It literally doesn't
Mhm.
matter. So, it's almost like someone can propose something that is absolutely bonkers, and they'll be like, "Okay," because no one regards this as a school sport anymore.
Yeah.
They're just it's like
They're just
they're
like,
school
"Alright, this is what we're
employees.
doing."
Yeah,
Exactly. The school employees is such a good term for it.
because what I mean, yeah, no one's treating them like students.
Yeah.
Well, again, it's literally like 3 kids on each team that are making millions of dollars, but there's 70 players on the team who actually need to go to class, but we don't have to go back down that that road.
Make it make sense.
Okay, last thing, NFL, what do we need to know? The Chiefs are not doing it
The
this
only
year.
thing that I know as of right now is the Chiefs are probably not gonna go to the playoffs, which is just insane to me, the fall from grace that they have had within such a short period of
I can't
time.
believe that they lost to the Cowboys still.
Yeah, I know. Crazy. Crazy stuff is happening. I'm like, the Eagles aren't even that good either this year.
Weird. Weird
They lost to the
times.
Cowboys too. Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
I would not
Yeah.
have thought the Cowboys would have both of those wins in one season. Maybe 1. Maybe 1.
No, and they were all within, like, a week of each other.
Are the Cowboys gonna go to the playoffs?
Probably.
Are they gonna
Which
make it
also just
through?
doesn't feel right.
No, it
Probably
doesn't.
not.
Also, like, I don't love the idea of the Cowboys going to the Super Bowl because I think it would give Jerry too much satisfaction in feeling like he does know what he's doing.
Yeah.
And, like, that man is just doing things on a whim in his own way, and I think this
Yeah,
would be a fluke, but it would be too much of a boost to his ego.
I completely agree. Unfortunately, I can only wish negative things upon the Cowboys just because of Jerry Jones.
I'm like, it would inflate his ego way too much. I'm sorry to everyone else who actually does earn a spot in the Super Bowl, but I don't
I'm
know.
sorry.
No,
Yeah.
no. Okay. Is there anything else, or are we good for this week?
That's it. There's really not a lot going on this
No,
week.
no.
Until all the bowl games start, I guess.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, let us know if you have any questions about the bowl games, any random thing. Rank y'all's favorite bowl games. I keep wanting to say board games, and it's not that.
Well, once you say bowl long enough, you're like, I'm not speaking English.
No. All right. Have a good week, y'all.
Bye, guys.